So now that we have a base HelloWorld application, how do we run it? Well, you would probably say, hey, you build, make, or you run. Yeah, you can do that. But before you can do that, you have to have some way for the application to actually be displayed. So in order to do that, you have to have an emulator running. So an emulator is basically just a fake phone, a fake Android phone that's on your computer. So this little guy right here who's hiding the phone behind him is an AVD manager. So if you click on him, it's going to bring up your virtual device manager. So we can click on create virtual device, and then it will bring up this screen right here. So you have TV, you have Wear, you have phone, you have tablet. We're just messing with phones right now. We're going to stay on phones. This is the name of the phone, the size of the phone, the resolution, and the density of it. So we're just going to stay with the Nexus 5. So if you see right here, I cloned the Nexus 5 so that I don't mess with the actual base Nexus 5. Because what you'll see is, I'm going to go ahead and clone it again. So we got Nexus 5 edited now, which is a phone and tablet. So when you clone it, you can actually change parameters on it. You can change the resolution, the RAM. I wouldn't recommend it. Supported device states, you can make it a Nexus 5 that can only do landscape. You can make it not have any cameras. So that's why I recommend cloning it, is that way you're creating kind of your own custom phone and not messing with the default one. So we cloned it, we left it named as edited, we hit finish, we're going to hit next, and right here it's going to say recommended. These are the recommended system images. So for your emulator to even run, it's going to have a system image on it. So you got these download options. Now I recommend for testing and debugging purposes you use x86 because it's supposed to be faster than using the 8664. Since I already have downloaded the x86 on this machine, I'll go ahead and download the x86 64-bit version. So what you're going to do is hit download. Window will pop up and it will say preparing to install, and it will start downloading the actual image for a Marshmallow 64-bit system. And since I'm just showing you guys what it's going to do, it's going to download, it's going to export it wherever it needs to export it, and then you'll just hit finish at the end. So we're going to go ahead and go with the one I have installed, which is the x86 version. We're just going to hit next. Then right here on the AVD name. So this is something new with 2.2. I don't know if it's just a bug or something that's kind of slipped through or what's going on, but the spaces in the name gave me errors last time. It told me that there were errors because of special characters, which was basically because the spaces aren't real characters, and it had issues with that. So if you just name it Nexus-5, or you can name it Nexus Phone, you could leave it named as Nexus, it doesn't really matter, as long as there's no special characters, no spaces. Then it's going to tell you this is the device you're using, this is the system image you chose. Whenever it starts up, do you want it in portrait or landscape? We'll leave it on portrait. Graphics automatic, I select hardware so that I force it to actually use my graphics card. Device frame, I always unselect that. That's pretty much all you need. However, if you want to go to show advanced, you can come down here, you can look, it talks about your camera, talks about your network, talks a little bit more about your emulated performance, your graphics. You can select all your RAM. And that's about it. So we're just going to hit finish. And then it is going to go ahead and build your device. Takes it just a little bit. Now if you guys notice, I'm up to almost 2.5 gigs right now, and we haven't even started running the emulator yet. So you can see if you have a lower spec computer of 4 gigabytes, how right now your system's probably going to start slowing down because of that. And after it has finished creating your AVD, you have your AVD right here. So we're going to hit close. So if we wanted to run this, we could run it one of two ways. You could first just hit play, and what it will do is it will ask to open the emulator, and you tell it which emulator, and the emulator opens, then it loads it, and then it runs your application. Or you select the AVD and you just hit play, and the emulator will start by itself without a project actually running. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way first. I'm just going to hit play. As soon as the Android emulator starts opening up, you can go ahead and close this box. Move the emulator wherever you want it. And I'm looking again at my RAM. We're up in the 3 gigs now while this is loading. And it does take a little while for your emulator to actually get itself up and running. But that's why some people, whenever they start up their project, they'll just right away, they'll open up the AVD and get the emulator running, so that way it's running in the background and they don't have to wait for it to load. So when it loads the first time, it's going to do just like a regular phone, give you the little tutorial bubbles. It got it, and our emulator is up and running. We'll just move it to the corner, and then we're going to go back to the project and we're going to hit play. So just as if you had just hit play, it'll pop up this box. You can say use same selection for future launches. That way it doesn't ask you every time you hit play. And this is your one device that you've created. If you have multiple devices, then you'll have the multiple devices that you can choose from. Then you're going to hit OK. Go back to our phone. So in this window right here, it's going to kind of tell us what's going on. The Gradle build is running. So Gradle is building the application, and then it's going to start running it. My RAM is now up to 4.33 gigabytes. So if you were on a 4 gigabyte system, it would start using your virtual memory if you're using Windows. It would start using your swap if you're using Linux. And see how it says it pushed the application. Now the application loaded. And that is your HelloWorld application. So the application is running. If you click the home button, it'll go back to your home screen on your fake phone. If you hit menu, you can go through here and you can find your HelloWorld application. So here's your HelloWorld application. It just gets a default icon. So whenever you go to your apps, you click on that, it'll automatically open. So we'll close this, or go to our home screen, and then we want to make some changes. So we're going to change to Hello Small World, because it's a small world after all. If you see, the emulator is still running, my screencast is still running, Android Studio is still running. We're up to almost 4.5 gigabytes. Alright, so emulator is still running, nothing's actually happening right now. We just changed this to Hello Small World, and we're going to hit play again. We'll go back to our emulator and wait. See, it says launching app, and then Hello Small World. So as you're developing, if you have your emulator over here, you can change all the stuff over here in your text. You could do your design. You could add a button. We'll just add a couple buttons. Add a couple buttons, add a progress bar. Just to add some random stuff on there. Hit play again and go to the emulator and just wait. And it will load with our changes.